Hello, my name is Eric and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I am here at Ritchfield Heritage Park. There's a mill behind me. There's a post about the inventor that has all these patents that help build this area. Really cool place. There's a lake we might go check out. Nice big pass, cool stuff. It is a overcast kind of January morning. Quite surprisingly, it's like mid-50s, and for northern Ohio, it's usually kind of closer to the 30s or even 20s. So it's kind of pleasantly surprised it's decently warm. I probably could take off my bigger jacket, but leave this jacket. Today's camera is a Canon EOS RT. This is one of the 1980s Canon autofocus EF mount bodies. Kind of goes along the family of the E600, the E620s, E630s, and E650s. This is basically the same chassis. Now the difference between an RT and all the other 600 series chassis is that this mirror does not go up and down. It's actually a pellicle mirror, so it's kind of a semi-transparent. So if I take some shots, notice the mirror is not moving. You're actually shooting through the mirror. That was one way to get faster frame rates because you wouldn't have the moving part. There was 2 or 3 Canon bodies that had this. Some Sony digital bodies did the same thing, the SLT series. Today's lens is a Canon 28-135 ultrasonic lens. We are, I think, a 3545. Take that back, 3556. We are image stabilized, so it's going to help me out a little bit because of the film I'm using and because the overcast day. The stabilization should help me out. Maybe, you know, effective for about a 2-stop, you know, slower than normal handhold. Okay, I'm going to put my cap away here. Today's film is some 1998 expired Tri-X pan, so 28 years old. I'm going to pull it back 2 stops. I'm going to shoot it at 100 as opposed to maybe 3. Black and white isn't quite as affected for age as much as color is, because color film can definitely color shift on you, as you've seen from maybe some of my previous episodes with some of the expired Konica that I've shot. Yeah, weird colors, you know, very mixed results on that stuff. Now this camera opens its back slightly differently. Instead of the pop-up like the old mechanical ones, there's a button and then a lever. So you push the button down, lever, it pops right open. This does DX code, so it will automatically default to 400 speed because it can read the DX. I'm going to load it up here. You don't have to hook it to anything, but you just have to get it on the other side of the roller. Close it up. Boom, ready to go, shot 1. But in a little secret panel behind the camera is my ISO control. So I hit the 2 buttons, change my ISO down to 100 for the age of the film, and I am ready to go. All right, let me get some shots. Be right back. I'm just going to switch to program mode here. Now when shooting some of these cameras that have the image stabilization in it, when you push the shutter button down, you'll hear it snap in. You hear a little click. That's a stabilizing unit kind of helping you out. Then you push it down all the way and it takes the photo. And within a few seconds of you releasing the shutter button, the stabilizer kicks off. It does draw some battery power, where normal, this is a 2CR5 battery. Normally that'd probably last you about 40 to 50 rolls of film. Maybe you lose a couple, maybe you're 35, 40 when you're using stabilized lenses, just because it draws a little extra juice to it. Now this is black and white film. I could have used a red filter, orange filter, green filter. I do have a lot of greenery, kind of some russet oranges from leaves and stuff like that. I didn't bring my filter, even then I don't even think I have one this big of a size. So just gonna be straight black and white today. All right, let's head that way. Let me see what I can get. So I do have to watch myself a bit. It did rain pretty heavily last night. Ground's nice and wet. you can see the spill off of the lake going down to a stream is pretty active. Now, you can use your shutter speed to kind of control that a little bit. If you want to freeze it, freeze the water in place, you'd want to use a higher shutter speed, maybe a 250th, maybe a 500th, maybe faster, depending upon the effect that you like. If you want to see that creamy, smooth type look, then you're going to be dragging this thing down to maybe a quarter of a second, half second. I did not bring my tripod with me for this camera or my monopod, but I do have the stabilizer, which might help me out. So I'm going to put the camera into shutter priority, do a fast shutter speed, do a slow shutter speed, see what I can handhold. All right, let's see what I get. Let's see how fast we can get. All right, because overcast day is slower film, I was getting a 20th of a second at 5.6. I could get a little closer, maybe get that up a little faster, but there's no way I'm going to freeze it. However, I did try a 1 second shot with the stabilizer. Maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't, but that's half the fun. All right, let me keep going. Be right back. When we was here last time, they had a picnic table over here. They must have moved it. That's okay. It's their place, they can do it. Cool rocks here, as you can tell. Ice flow on the lake here. Large pond, whichever it is. You know. Boy, am I getting some slow shutter speeds unless I really point towards the sky. I'm getting about a 20th of a second at 5.6. So that stabilizer is really going to be helping me out. I'm on shot 18 out of a roll of 24, I believe. Yes, roll of 24. So I still got about 8 or 9 more photos. Depends upon if I get the extra one. All right, let me see what else I can get. I'm going to head down that way. So Canon has 3 layers of autofocus lenses. There's their standard EF lenses. Typically, I mean, you could call them kit lenses, but it would be like the 28 to 80, the 35-80, 28-90s, the typical lenses that you would get with a kit. There was a 55-200 and a 75-300, something like that also. Typically, optically, they were fine, but they weren't the fastest lenses in the world. They were typically 4 to 5, 6s and stuff like that. Then their next layer, the ultrasonic lenses, represented by a gold ring, which is what I have here. So this is an ultrasonic variant. Typically, they were a little bit quieter in the autofocus. They were very fast in the autofocus. Usually the best bang for your buck. Nice mid-level lenses, 3.5 to 5.6, so slightly faster than average at the bottom end, 3.5. You know, kind of normal at the other, but it didn't really go like fall off to anything serious. They started having some decent stabilization in them, and even metal lens mounts, which I do like. I'm not a fan of plastic lens mounts. Plastic mounts on the camera don't bug me as much, but plastic on the lens mount, I've seen too many break over the years. Then they got the L lenses. Usually those are the big white lenses, the 2.8 lenses, the big sports lenses, 70 to 200 2.8s, 24-70 2.8s, stuff like that. Those are usually built more rugged, those are usually weather sealed, and optically they were superior to the other guys. But again, the ultrasonics were usually a really good bang for the buck. You'd get better than the kit lens, but you didn't have the price of the L glass. All right, I have, it is shot 25, so I've only got like one. If I can squeak out another shot, great, but I'm only gonna get 1 or 2 more shots left, so I'm gonna get them. Got some cool stuff in the lake. And it just kicked into rewind right now. Now this is a little unlike the Rebels, where the Rebels would pre-wind all the film out, count how many shots you're gonna get, and then count down. This one actually counted up, and it got the 25th shot, and as it was advancing to 26, it said, nope, I'm done, and kicked into rewind automatically. All right, again, today we're at Ritchfield Heritage Park, cool lake, cool buildings, dog parks, not dog parks, dog walk area, really cool place. Today's camera was the Canon EOS RT, so it's of the 600 family, the 600, 620s, 630s, and 650s, but has a pellicle mirror, so it's a semi-transparent mirror, so the mirror physically does not move. And if I were to take this off, I can actually see the shutter curtain back there. I'm not gonna be able to show you, but see the shutter curtain back there. Today's film with some expired Tri-X 400. I shot it at 100, but it is like 28 years out of date. But black and white's not quite affected as much as color film is when it comes to age, because there's no color shift. If you've seen some of the Konica stuff I've done before, some weird color shifts. Mixed results, that's half the fun of shooting expired film. Black and white's usually pretty good. If anything, you lose some contrast, but you know, nothing to worry about color shifting. All right, photos will be posted at the end. Hopefully I get something. Again, old film, you never know. Feel free to give them a thumbs up. Feel free to comment on what camera you have, your experience with the Canon, you know, film, autofocus film bodies. I've shot some Rebels before. This is before the Rebels is like a 1980s, late 80s camera, maybe even early 90s, but I think it's late 80s. And then feel free to subscribe. I try to have new episodes twice a week, typically Fridays and Saturdays, with bonus episodes every now and then. All right, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next episode.